Good afternoon all, VPC, and we will be launching our web server. This lab can be found in module 5. In this session I will be demonstrating the lab and you can follow along. So before getting into it, what is a VPC? VPC is a virtual private cloud. So you can provision your AWS resources in it and you can also define a virtual network. So to start a lab, you have to click on this button, Start Lab. After it, a pop-up will appear in which it will show the lab status. When the status turns to ready, you have to close the pop-up and you have to click this AWS button. So this will take you to the AWS Management Console like this, and you can start working on your lab. So on the search bar, we will write VPC. So this is the VPC dashboard. Now we will be creating our own VPC. So to create a VPC, we will click on this button, Launch VPC Wizard. We will choose the second option, VPC with public and private subnets. Now we will choose a name, that is VPC, that is Lab VPC. This is the public subnet IPv4 CIDR. CIDR is classless interdomain routing, and this is used to allocate IP addresses. So all the IP addresses under 10.0.0.0x comes under this range. As you can see, it says 251 IP addresses available. So availability zones, we will select the first one, that is US East 1A, and we will name it public subnet 1. For the private availability zone, we will select US East 1A and we will name it private subnet 1. Now for the elastic IP allocation ID, you have to click on this box and you will see an allocation ID here. In my case, I have already created this VPC, that's why there is no such ID. But in your case, you will see an ID. You have to select that ID and then you have to create a VPC. You have to click this button to create VPC. So after you create a VPC, it will take around 4 to 5 minutes to create a VPC. Then you can go on the left hand side to your VPCs, and then you will see your lab VPC here. So this is our VPC created. So now we will go to subnets. So these are the subnets created, public subnet 1 and private subnet 1. So we will create 2 more subnets to achieve high availability. So we will click on this button, create subnet. We will select our lab VPC. We will name it public subnet 2. We will choose the second availability zone, that is US East 1B, and we will choose the CIDR block, that is 10.0.0 to 10.0.0.0/24. So this is the CIDR block we have to choose for public subnet 2. So all the IPs under 10.0.2.0x will come under this range. So we'll create this subnet. So our public subnet 2 is created. We will do the same for private subnet as well. We'll create a new private subnet. Select the VPC, that is lab VPC. Subnet name, private subnet. Availability zone, that is US East 1B, and the CIDR block is 10.0.3.0/24. So all the IP addresses under this 10.0.3x range will come under this CIDR block. Now we'll create the subnet. By the way, all the instructions are mentioned in the lab. You can follow with the instructions as well if you're not understanding it. You will get good help when you will follow the instructions as well. This hands-on is enough for you to understand, but if you don't understand, you can follow the instructions as well. So we have created our two new subnets. Now we'll go to route tables. So for the private subnet, there is a NAT gateway attached to the route table. So what is a NAT gateway? NAT gateway acts as a medium between internet and your private subnet. So your private subnet has then access to internet without exposing itself to the internet. So we will expand this column, and we are seeing two lab VPCs here. So with the main, we have to see main. With the main, yes, that is a private route table. So we'll name it private route table. So this is the private route table. Now in the routes, you can see there is a NAT gateway attached to it. So the destination is 0.0, that is internet, and the NAT target is NAT gateway. So our private subnet has an access to internet through the NAT gateway. So we'll associate our private subnets with this route table. So click on subnet associations and edit subnet associations. Now select private subnet 1 and 2 and save associations. So now our private subnets are attached with this route tables. So now we'll do the same for public subnet. In public subnet there is internet gateway. So your public subnet directly connects to the internet using internet gateway. So with the main node, that is our public route table. So we'll name it public route table. Now we'll check the routes. So as you can see, there is a IGW, that is internet gateway, attached to this route table. Now we'll associate our subnets with this public route table. So we'll click on edit subnet associations, and we'll select our public subnet 1 and public subnet 2, and we'll save it. So now our both private and public subnets are attached to their specific route tables. Now we'll go to security groups and we'll create a security group. Now what is a security group? They are at instance level. So they are responsible for the in and out traffic through your instance. So we'll create a security group. We'll name it web security group. We'll select the VPC, that is lab VPC. So here are the instructions to how to create a security group. On the 31st number you can see how to create a security group. So we'll write the description as enable HTTPSS. Now we'll add an inbound rule, that is HTTP source anywhere IPv4. So 0.0.0.0/0 means anywhere. So anyone can connect through the port 80 to this security group. So this security group will be attached to instance, so anyone can access the instance with the port 80 range. So we'll save it. And the security group is created now. Now we'll go to EC2 to create our EC2 instance and launch a web server. So now we'll launch instance here. We click on this button. So this is a new UI of the EC2 instance. To create EC2 instance, I will choose the old UI because it suits me much better. So from here you have to choose your AMI, that is Amazon Machine Image. So this AMI is a template of our EC2 instance, so it creates our operating system, application servers and applications which are required to launch the instance. So we'll select the Amazon Linux 2 AMI. We'll select T2 Micro because it is free tier eligible. It has 1 vCPU, 1 gigs of memory, and the instance storage is EBS. So we'll click next, configure instance details. We'll select a VPC, that is Lab VPC. Public subnet, or you can do public subnet 2 or 1 as you wish, but you have to keep it in a public subnet. Auto assign public IP set to enable. Now we'll come down in the advanced settings and you have to paste this script that is available in the settings here. This script you have to copy paste and paste it on the dialog box there. So this is a user data. This script is known as user data. So we have pasted the script. So this script will install a Apache web server in our EC2 instance. Now we will add storage. The storage is general purpose SSD GP2 with 8 GB of size. So we'll make it default. This is the default one, and we will add tags also. So add tag. So we'll write here name, web server 1. Now we'll configure the security group. So we have created a security group. We will select an existing security group, the web security group, and now we'll review and launch. So you will get a warning that AMI requires port 22 to be open in order to have access. Just continue it. Review your instance and press launch. Now it will show you to select a key pair. So choose existing key pair and tick this checkbox. And now launch instance. So the instance is now being created. It will take around 1 to 2 minutes. So on the EC2 dashboard on instances, you can see instance state is pending. So it will take around 1 to 2 minutes. You can refresh it from here. So now you can see the instance state is running. So our instance is up, and now we'll select the instance, and you can see here a public IPv4 address. So you have to copy this address and you have to paste it on a new tab. So this is our web server that we have launched. So we ran a user script. So the user script helped in launching this web server, and now the lab is complete. So we are done with all tasks, and now you know how to build a VPC and how to launch a web server with EC2 instance. So now you have to close this tab. You have to close this, and then you have to come back here and you have to press this button and lab. This pop-up will appear and your lab is now ended. So yes, thank you everyone for joining this session. And